This is the first localized Fire Emblem title, and was the game we got thanks to the popularity of Roy and Marth in Super Smash Bros. Melee. Also known as Fire Emblem Rekka no Ken, or FE7, Fire Emblem is an excellent turn-based strategy game known for its cruel permadeath feature. Now let's start with what I like about this game. Well, first of all, there's the characters: Hector, Eliwood, Lyn, Jafar, Nino, Athos, Nidian, Mills, and the villain Nagal. And by the series standard, they're all rather interesting characters who I felt had rather emotional and dramatic stories which suit this series well. They also have good designs. The dynamic between Jafar and Nino in the story, for example, is, this story of redemption that I thought was pretty powerful. Various other spoilers with these characters also made me enjoy the story. Won't be giving away because that's not fair on the audience. And hopefully I'll remember this game's story as time passes, because other games in this series have had this well, I'm mainly thinking of Sacred Stones, where I forgot huge chunks of the plot over the years, and Shadow Dragon. Oh, I don't remember much about that at all. That said, there's fantastic replay value, as after Eliwood's story is complete, you gain access to Hector's story. However, I have yet to complete Hector's adventure, so I'm not quite sure if it's worth playing through just yet, but I've heard good things. If you're curious about the footage that you're currently watching, it's from a different playthrough of the game, not the actual playthrough I went through, but I felt like showing off some things. You can see various arena battles, you can see the permadeath feature in action through the death of Lucius. RIP, as they say. But you won't actually see many of the characters that I decided to use throughout my main playthrough. Figured might complement a few characters on their usefulness in the game. The archers, very useful. Will and Rebecca, they could pretty much own everything. Pegasus Knight Florina, quite a lot of effort into leveling her up, but she pays off. And the druid, Kenneth, who you can only get through an optional side story chapter, and he can pretty much completely wreck both of the final bosses. It is absurdly amazing how powerful dark magic is in this game. It's just like, whoa. The music in this game is solid, with several standout tracks, although it's a little on the generic side at times, and other games in the series have better soundtracks. Not that this one is bad, it's great, but this series is known for better, like Path of Radiance, Radiant Dawn, I would say even Shadow Dragon, probably even Sacred Stones, and a lot of the great musical tracks in this game are basically remixes from other games in the series, like the Winning Road theme, I think that's what it's called, is basically a remix of Roy's Winning Road theme from Fire Emblem 6. Also, since it's now on Wii U, you now have access to an optional battle save feature, the kind which was in Radiant Dawn. It's only really viable in long battles, and while it is exploitable, it can easily screw you over, so it's not an instant win thing. I mean, it's just one of the many exploitable things in the game, alongside the some boss fights and the arenas, which you can exploit for level ups and XP for your weaker characters. Yeah, that's that. Now for some negative points. Night of Farewells, that was a chapter, an optional chapter, mind you, but it was chapter 29X, I think. I'm probably getting that wrong. But it can go and screw itself. And so can the Berserker stuff. That chapter is particularly long and tedious, and to top it off, there's this annoying asshole with the aforementioned Berserker stuff, who's on his own little island. And to top it off, he also has a valuable item, which you can only get by stealing it from him using a thief, and getting a thief close to the guy with the Berserker staff is absolutely ridiculous. Um, One of the most unpleasant things in the game, I have found. Um, that being said, I won't claim to be an expert in this game. In fact, I know I lack skill in these games, and most of the time they feel like a challenge to me. So, you know, if there's any super hardcore people watching this, you probably you'll probably find this pretty easy. It's not gonna, you're not gonna feel the burn until probably Hector hard mode, from what I've heard anyway. Um, of course, another complaint I have is that just in my normal playthrough of the game of Early Story was there was a lack of a difficulty curve. Most chapters are straightforward. Others are oddly painful and frustrating. And then there are others that are just too easy. And, the entire battlefield is clear, and I'm just left there waiting for several turns to pass so I can, progress with the game. Uh, yeah, it's not exactly um, how I remember other games in the series being. They have their difficulty peaks and troughs, but um, never this degree of inconsistently where one chapter you're like, oh man, I'm this complete and utter badass. You know, just look at how overpowered I am, and in the next chapter, oh god, I'm not prepared for this. Um, yeah, this is probably also going to get some flack, but supporting characters uh, feel bland and unmemorable. Not quite as bad as Shadow Dragon, uh, where I only remember Marth and Sheena, but to the point where they felt very cliche, and that I had seen them all elsewhere in other games. And the only way to flesh out these characters is with supports, which take a long time. You waste a lot of turns to get them. And if you're impatient like I was, you won't bother too much with that. And final complaint, I also felt the ending was a little anticlimactic, at least in Elliott's story. I can't speak for Hector's story yet, but um, ending's a little anticlimactic, and the epilogue felt like it was lacking something. You know, um, most other games in this series usually have a very, what's the word, grand epilogue. Like this, like it's a huge deal that you won the game. And, you get to see a lot of the characters interact and whatnot. And they were all happy, and it's this feeling of satisfaction that was slightly missing there. If you're wondering, yes, I love this game, to the point where I even started a second playthrough yesterday. I find the gameplay addictive, and I kind of want to see if I can flesh out more of the characters next time around. Do I recommend this game? Yes. While it is no Sacred Stones, Path of Radiance, or Radiant Dawn, Fire Emblem 7 is a solid entry in the series, and one I can recommend to most people. Right now, it is also the cheapest out there, by legitimate means. So yes, if you're curious about the series, go get it.